Hey, this is Meredith Elliott Powell, and you know what time it is? It is 8 a.m. Eastern, and it is time for a Sales Logic. And today we're talking Sales Logic Live. I'm hanging out here with my partner, Mark Hunter, who looks like he is fresh off a haircut. You look good, Mark.
Yeah, I am fresh off a haircut, but I'm not fresh off everything else. I feel like dirt today, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So anyway, but hey, we're talking about sales, and sales happens 24/7. So Sales Logic Live and the Sales Logic system. This is huge. I've been talking with more and more people. They're enthused about it in all different industries. Yeah. So,
Well,
so
I feel
that's
like
the topic.
yeah,
Go
and
ahead.
I feel like we are. I feel like we're teasing the audience. So they don't. Not everybody. It's hard to believe, but not everybody knows what Sales Logic Live is. So how about I roll this intro
Yeah.
and we dive into the show?
Hey, we're back. Yeah. I mean, this is cool. That I love the fact that we're getting calls. I'm getting calls every day. People tell me more about Sales Logic, Live. What's going to be happening with the Sales Logic system? So perfect. We devote the episode, this entire show to it, to really giving people, because this is a game changer. This is a game changer.
Well, so if you haven't marked your calendar for May 24th, mark your calendar for May 24th. Plan to join Mark, plan to join me live in Dallas, Texas, or you can join us virtually. And we're literally going to roll up our sleeves. We're going to get to work. We're going to talk about what it takes to really sell in today's marketplace. Because if you haven't updated your sales system in a while, guess what? You're behind. Mark, it's so funny. I was talking to a client about this morning. I mean, he has a sales team. And we were talking about the fact that his sales team is just not really getting it done right now. I mean, their numbers are okay, but they're not what they were last quarter. And I said, let's think about it. Your customers are different from what they were last quarter. Your value proposition needs to change. What your customers were worried about last quarter is not exactly what they're worried about this quarter. And every time the marketplace shifts, your sales strategy has to shift a bit with it.
And sales teams get further and further behind. I mean, this exact same conversation I had today with 3 VPs of sales. And they were commenting about how they're seeing their customers getting further and further and further ahead of them. And they're saying, help us. And so as I was walking through with them, Sales Logic system, the simplicity of it, because it puts the human element, and this is the piece, this is what chaps me. Too many sales processes are so overcomplicated. They are way overcomplicated. It doesn't have to be. It's about a conversation. So why don't we go ahead and jump in? The topic we're going to be talking about, Sales Logic Live and the Sales Logic system. The question comes from Sonia from San Francisco. Here you're both talking about the Sales Logic system, Sales Logic Live. What do I need to know about what it is, what you're doing, and if and how I should get involved?
Yeah. All right. Well, the Sales Logic system is literally a strategy to sell successfully, no matter what this marketplace does. And it's divided into 3 sections. What you need to do to get that door open, what you need to do to contact customers, what you need to do to connect with customers, and then what you need to be doing in today's market to close the deal. Whether you are really struggling in today's marketplace, if you're really struggling, we're going to show you how to take the pain out of the sales process, or even if just a little bit of an edge has come off your sales process. This is going to dial it in and give you the strategies that you need to really be more successful.
I hear CROs telling me all the time. They go, Mark, my salespeople are doing nothing but making excuses. They want this app, they want this hack, they want this, and just make the call, just get out there and get it done. And what it comes down to, and I had this very specific conversation yesterday. You made a comment, I think my salespeople are afraid. I think my salespeople are actually afraid to engage the customer. And they want automation to do it all for them. Well, if you want automation to do it all, why do we need you? Hey, drop the mic right there. Because here's the whole thing. We uncover more value when we take the time to understand who you are and understand your needs and understand your challenges. That's how we craft the right solution.
Yeah.
It's not about spraying and praying. No.
I would also say that the sales logic system is exactly that. It's a system. I think that once the economy starts to shift, and it is shifting, there's a lot of challenges coming through 2023, and part of fear comes from not knowing what to do, whether it's fear, whether it's anger, whether it's frustration, whether it's stress. It comes from not knowing what to do. And with the sales logic system, we're going to take all that guesswork out of it.
Yeah.
Not only are you going to know what to do and have a process to work on day in and day out, but you're going to have a process that is guaranteed to get you the deals you need, guaranteed to increase your confidence, and guaranteed to increase the amount of value that you are bringing to clients. Mark, I think it's interesting. You keep talking so much about humanizing the relationship. I was on with a client yesterday who is probably one of my favorite clients. We've worked together for over 20 years. This is his fourth company. He's in mergers and acquisitions and has taken companies that have been pretty much dead in the water, turned them around, gotten them in great shape, and sold them. And we were talking about COVID and what he did to get through COVID. And he's in a state that wasn't quote unquote COVID friendly, for lack of a better way to put it. I mean, the state was shut down. And so I was talking to him. I said, talk to me a little bit about how you dealt with supply chain issues, how you dealt with the increased expense of the sanitation and things, what you did about vaccinations. Over and over again, everything he did came down to the connections and the relationships that he had built. He was able to get the supplies that he needed. He was able to get the increased funding he needed. He was able to get his team vaccinated before others in the state were getting vaccinated, all down to the relationships that he had built. And at Sales Logic Live, we're going to get old-fashioned in some parts of this. Mark talked about automation, and we want to talk about where automation fits in the sales process, and you want to be using it. At the same time, the power of relationships and the value of them have never been stronger.
Yeah, and to a certain degree, there's also, where do you not want to use automation? Mm-hmm. Because again, you got to put that human element in there. Because here's the whole thing: customers will always reveal more insights to you if you develop trust with them, if you develop a relationship with them. This is how you're going to close more deals. And you brought up a great point. You were working with this company. He's now gone to 4 different companies and taken you along with it. Mm-hmm. Would he have taken you along with him if you were just an automated process? No, there's no way he would have. And see, this is the whole thing. One of the things in the whole process that we're talking about, we want to create legacy relationships that keep giving and giving and giving. This is how we create a long-term sustainable business. This runs counter. I mean, a lot of people are saying, a lot of salespeople, I just want to stock it and kill it, move on. That's not a strategy. That's not going to work. You've got to take the step back and understand, because when you do, it's amazing how many more contacts you're going to have, how many more relationships you're going to have, how much more business you're going to have, because you're going to be connecting with the customer in so many more ways.
So what do you get when you come to Sales Logic Live? Well, number one, you're literally going to get all the answers to your questions about sales today. That is probably the biggest thing. This is basically, Mark and I have a program that we want to run you through, that we want to talk about. But at the same time, there's a lot of time for Q&A, a lot of time for case study, and a lot of time for role play. We're going to be working hot seats into it. So you can bring your toughest customer, the big deal that you really want to land, or the one that you just lost, and we're going to break it down. We're going to talk about, we're going to give you the strategies and understanding that you need. It's going to be chock full of tools and resources, things that you need to be successful in today's marketplace. We're going to lay out how the marketplace is shifting, what's happening as the marketplace starts to shift, what impact that's going to have on you, your products, and your customers, and your ability to get results. And then we're going to give you the nuances and the things that you need to change in your strategies to be more effective. And then last but not least, well, two things. Number one, you're literally going to leave with a plan of action. I mean, no questions left on the table, no confusion, no anything. This is exactly what you need to go and do. The other is you're going to leave motivated and excited and with a confidence that you have what you need to succeed no matter the shifts coming in the marketplace.
There's so much in what you just said there. And let's just walk through the 3 steps. I'm just going to, level 1 is contact. It's getting the door to open for you. Level 2 is connect. And level 3 is all about close. Now think about this for a moment. Do you think do you think customers want to go through a 14-step process? No. Do you think salespeople even want to go through a 14-step process? But see, I see salespeople making a complicated process because they're looking for an excuse as to why they can't sell. What we do is synthesize it down, call it down, make it simple. Because again, when we talk about level 1, we're talking about just getting the door to open. And it really begins with your reputation. And one of the things I always say is your reputation arrives before you do. And there's some things that we're going to show you how to do. The other piece is we're going to show you who to prospect and who not to prospect. It's not about 10,000 prospects. You have a great model, and I know you're going to be talking about it. That is, you want just 100 prospects. That's it. Because you're able to zero in on them. You're able to get focused on them. And as a result, they're going to know you better. They're going to know, you're going to know them better. Because here's what I find. My goal is to spend more time with fewer people. If I've got 1,000 prospects, I can't spend time with anybody. So they never get to know me. They never get to understand. Trust is the foundation from which sales is based upon. Trust is really the negating factor in closing a deal. If there's no trust, guess what? Price is everything. If there's a high degree of trust, guess what? They're going to trust you. And that's what we want to show you how to create trust. And don't say, Mark, we're in an industry. Meridith, you don't understand. Our industry, you're Pollyanna. No, believe me, you and I have sold in every industry out there. And people are looking for trust. People are looking for competence. And when you create that, it's amazing what happens.
I would add to that the fact that, most of us are still selling with a sales funnel, a funnel that looks like a funnel. And the sales funnel has changed. It looks more like an hourglass right now. Mark just laid out 3 simple steps for you: contact, connect, and close. But what you need to understand is every single step has really changed. How you contact a customer has shifted. I was on with a client earlier this week, and he was talking about his sales team and how they're really disappointed in marketing. Well, I get it. I mean, there's always the conflict between marketing and sales, but good, bad, or indifferent, you have to be your own marketing agent. And Mark and I are going to talk about that. I mean, Mark just talked about your reputation. It's not only your reputation, which is a big part of it, but it is, are you positioning yourself in the marketplace as the one who can solve the right problem? And do you even know what the right problem is? We're going to really talk about the secret strategies you need to do that. And then Mark talked about the fact that it wasn't 1,000 prospects. The problem with 1,000 prospects, as Mark said, you can't spend time with them. The other is, it's going to take you too long to try to close those deals. We've got to shorten that sales cycle. And shortening that sales cycle happens all in the contact, in the way you engage at the top of that funnel where you're pulling people in. Then you go into the neck of the funnel. And Mark mentioned trust, and that's connection. And how you build trust today in a marketplace where people don't trust anybody. And they don't trust anybody because they're cynical and awful. They don't trust anybody because everybody around us is selling us something that isn't valid. Look at it in politics. Look at it in companies. We have so much negativity out there that trust is high value. And how you build it is going to surprise you. Yeah. And last but not least is close the deal. And closing the deal in a cycle where you don't control the customer, where you don't control the marketplace, how you close that deal and get it across the finish line, That has changed too. But hey, you are never going to know unless you plan to join us on the 24th of May for Sales Logic Live.
Well, that's the thing, because you're never going to know, because all you're doing is spraying and praying. You're doing the same emails. You're doing the same blast. You're not actually engaging, because the prospects you're going after, they don't want to engage with you because they don't see you bringing value. And this comes back to the whole thing. You have to understand what is the outcome that you create. We don't sell products or services. We sell outcomes. We sell solutions. And when we focus in on that, it's amazing how the customer will pay more attention to us. And what does this do? It allows the customer not only, hey, wow, okay, I'm going to buy from you, but you know what? I need help over here. I need help over there. I need help in other ways. That's huge. Because again, as we talk about in the Sales Logic Live system, every sale has got to lead to the next sale. If the sale you're making doesn't lead to the next sale, something's wrong. Then all you're doing is selling a piece of property, and the customer has a bad taste in their mouth. I don't want that. I don't want that at all.
But in today's environment, people have to be selling more consistently. This is like you're conditioning. I was listening to Victor Antonio's podcast the other day. What a great podcast that is. And I picked up sales guru Andrew Sykes, who I have been a big fan of for a long time. And he was talking about the fact that people think that salespeople are natural. They're kind of born as salespeople. And he said, it's just not true. He said, salespeople are, what you're seeing is the finished product of a lot of work and a lot of effort and a lot of consistent behavior. And I think what Mark and I want to do with Sales Logic Live is take a lot of the trying to figure out what that work and that consistency needs to be and literally hand you the plan to do it, because you're going to have weeks where you land a lot of deals and you're going to have weeks where things are dry, but doing the behaviors day in and day out and doing the right behaviors really, really, really matters. And you need to understand how what you have been doing for the last couple of months needs to be tweaked and changed in order to be effective going forward.
And this elevates you. This elevates you in the mind of the customer. This elevates you. And one of the things that we'll be talking about is to see and understand, does the customer value me? Are they asking you questions about things you don't sell? Because think about this. If they are asking you questions about things you don't sell, that means they have a level of trust in you. That's huge. You have to create this level of trust, this relationship. Because if we try to close a sale before there's trust, it's price. All we can go on is price. And that's not sustainable, because again, it's not going to work for you. And because again, if you make the first sale on price, how are you going to come back and sell to them again? You're going to come back and sell to them again on even a lower price. See, one of the things we're really stressing here is how to create this recurring business. This business that not only are you getting business from that customer that you sold to, but they're giving you additional referrals and so forth. And maybe the company they work at, or other people or other companies. They're giving you referrals by way of referrals. They're referring you to other people. But this is the measurement of a successful salesperson. And if you're not able to deliver that, if you're not able to generate that, something's wrong. And
I'll tell you. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, another place that the Sales Logic Live system is really good. If you've got a sales team out there right now and you're not necessarily working a sales process, you don't have a process in place. There isn't something that you're sure that when your team members come on board, you're able to say, this is the way you land deals. This is the quickest way to get results. Then plan to join us on May 24th, because we're literally going to hand you your sales process and your sales system. And right there, right in the session, we're going to make the tweaks and the customizations that you need to really make the sales system work for you.
Because in order for us to live the system, you have to be successful. Mm-hmm. This is why we designed the day the way it is, because we want you to be successful. And we're going to put the link in the show notes. We want you to get signed up for it. What I find very interesting is the VIP tickets are selling great. Mm-hmm. These are actually a higher priced ticket than just general admission. What does that say? People are really, really interested.
Well,
They want to do a deep dive.
Well, I think it's because the other thing is you're going to get more with the VIP ticket is community, right, Mark?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because again, there's so much content in this program. One of the things that people ask me, so Mark, when did you come up with this idea? Did you come up with this idea a couple months ago? Mayor, and I tell him, no, Mayor and I have been working on this for years. We've been doing Sales Logic podcast for probably 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about this, and both of us are aligned very similarly in how we sell. Sure. So it only became natural to say, hey, let's bring this together. Let's create this. Because the idea being is let's make it simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. When you make it complicated, nothing happens. Salespeople are quick to look for excuses. They are quick to look for excuses as to why they're not closing a sale. This system takes all excuses out of it. And yeah.
And I think more importantly, it takes all question out of it. In fact, there are a lot of reasons why sales is getting to be challenging today. I mean, as budgets tighten, as it becomes harder to get access to capital, as inflation, whether it stays leveled off or whether it continues to rise. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the marketplace? And it can be more difficult to get in front of the decision maker. But I tell you, with the Sales Logic system, we're going to show you how to get through the door. We're going to show you how to build that trust quickly. We're going to show you how to make those connections, get price off the table, get the deal to close, and expand the relationship. Yeah. What do you have to lose by spending a day with us? In addition, I told you that we're going to open hot seats so that you can sit down and get in the hot seat. Mark and I are going to sit in hot seats too. You can ask us anything that you want to ask so that you get return on investment from the day.
And that's powerful because, again, we have to be full transparency. Sales is about a relationship. Sales is about authenticity. And if we aren't authentic to you, then why would you trust us? Mm-hmm. So that's why this day is going to be a very special day, whether you join us online or you join us in person. We'll put the link in the show notes, but we want you to check that out. Absolutely. Yeah. Should we kind of jump into the, the book and the lightning round?
Sure. Sounds good to me.
The book we're talking about is the Sales Logic System. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get this. And it's not complicated. It's not some 1,800 page tome. No, because again, we want you to be able to put it into play, put it into practice, fast and simple. Because too many sales processes screw up a 2-car funeral. And then we wonder why salespeople walk away. No. Anything you want to add to that? And then
I just want to say that the Sales Logic system is literally a workbook. It's going to be a book that you are going to keep active. That's literally going to have your plan in there. It's going to have your notes in there. And once Sales Logic Live is over, Mark and I at some point will probably put the book out there on the market for others to look at. But this is literally the day in words that you can take with you, so that you don't have any question going forward as to what you gained from the Sales Logic Live.
Yeah, but the only way you get the book right now is by being part of Sales Logic Live on May 24th. So check out the link and be there. So now let's kind of jump into the lightning round. Okay. Top 10 reasons you need to attend Sales Logic Live. Go.
You want 2023 to be your best year on record.
I love that. And you want to eliminate the processes that have been dragging you down and holding you back. It's about creating simplicity.
You want to get ahead of today's marketplace and ahead of what your customers are struggling with.
It's about being authentic with your customers, not about hiding behind tools and apps and hacks. It's about being authentic, creating a genuine relationship with them.
You want to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. Attend Sales Logic Live because you want to stand out from the competition.
Oh, yeah. And one of the other things we're going to be talking about is how do you become a top performing salesperson? At the end of the day, we're going to be talking about what are the things you got to do to become a top performer? Because you put this in place, then how do you become a top performing salesperson? So again, this is incredible amount of value that you're going to be getting for this.
Yeah, you don't ever want to compete on price again. Attend Sales Logic Live because you want price off the table.
That is so true, because price doesn't mean a thing. Here's what I find so often. Salespeople are quick to reduce their price. Why? Because they haven't created value. That's what we're doing. We want to show you how to create value with your customers. Both Mir and I are going to share stories. Share stories where we had a price on the table and the customer was balking. And we're going to show you the exact strategy that we used to not reduce the price and to close the sale and ultimately create maximum value for the customer. Because once you reduce the price once, you're going to do it again and again and again.
Yeah. I'd say that you want to attend Sales Logic Live because you want the confidence going through the rest of this year. Probably work in an environment where pressure is probably going to come down on you for sales. Customers are going to get a little bit more challenging to get through the door, but you want to have the confidence that you have the information you need that is going to position you for success.
Absolute spot on, because here's the whole thing. Sales Logic Live, the Sales Logic system, is about helping you achieve what you didn't think was possible, because you're going to help our customers achieve what they didn't think was possible. We're focused on the customer. We're not focused on you. We're going to show you how to focus on the customer. And when you do that, it's amazing. Once you share one more, I'll share one more, and we'll close it.
You want to attend Sales Logic Live because you want community. You understand 100% that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and you want to be around the experts. You want to be around your peers, people that are as passionate as you are about learning to turn uncertainty to competitive advantage.
Yeah, and that's something so key, because sales is lonely. Sales is lonely. You got to be part of a community. This is a team sport, and we're going to show you how to be part of that team. So with that, we want to say thank you for listening to Sales Logic this week. If you like what you hear, subscribe, rate, and review the show on your favorite podcast app. Something we've said is, hey, it's helped you earn a single dollar? Consider telling a friend, because it's how we grow when we help you grow. I'm Mark Hunter.
And I'm Meridith Elliott, Powell.
Remember, when you sell with confidence and integrity,
uncertainty suddenly becomes your competitive advantage,
and the sale becomes logical.
All right, Mark, I am super excited because I know that we are going to see this audience on May the 24th in Dallas, Texas, whether we see you live and in person. And together, we are going to reveal the strategy. You are going to walk away with exactly what you need to have the confidence, the connections, and the success you need to make 2023 your best year on record. We'll see you there.